All right, welcome to Clear Vision Wednesday. I'm Claudia Mühlenweg. I'm the creator of the Natural Clear Vision Method, and this show is all about natural vision improvement, how you can improve your own eyesight. And today's topic is about children's vision, which is a huge thing because when we are kids, everything is just so much easier. And I have a special guest here today. So before I introduce her, make sure you like this, you subscribe to this channel, very important, because if you care about your eyes and your vision, you want to subscribe to this channel and get news and updates based on the new science and as well as traditional methods that have been proven for hundreds and thousands of years, then make sure to follow and subscribe this channel. All right. So my guest today is from Lithuania. Let me bring her on stage. Welcome, Sigita Labutienė. Did I say that right?
Yeah, pretty good. Hello, everyone.
So I know you're coming in from Lithuania and it's really late where you are. So we really appreciate you being here. And you work with children and parents. But before we get into this, tell us a little bit, how did you get into natural vision improvement?
Well, when I was 13 years old, I was prescribed first glasses of mine, and they were minus 0.75. And during 5 years, every half a year, I went to doctors because I trusted them and I believed that they will cure my eyesight. I went to their cabinets and I just talked with them a lot and did everything they told me. And during 5 years, in a 5 years period, my diopters grew up to almost -7. And it was really very painful because at that time when I was wearing glasses at the school, like we had 800 pupils at the school, in the school, so only few wore glasses, not like in these times, yes. So it was really very painful and psychological discomfort for me. When I got these glasses, I was 18 years old, and when I got these strongest glasses, recipe for the strongest glasses, so I thought that something is not okay with this treatment, because every half a year I visit doctors, I do what they say, and every time I get stronger glasses. So it was my own decision, even I was 18 years old, so that I would never go to doctors anymore. I took out of the frames the lenses, and I put back the -5.5 that I didn't see with them, I thought that time. And I thought I will survive. This helps very much. And you can just, when you have glasses, you can just push a little bit and you see better. And I thought I will survive. So I was wearing glasses and lenses for 18 years old. Until I found information from Russian teacher who actually trained people to look at wearing glasses like an addiction, the same like alcohol, tobacco, and drugs, that you are addicted to glasses. And he had his program, and I got rid of glasses at his courses, watching his YouTube videos and so on. And then I just thought that no one is talking about the children. And I was thinking that if my parents knew these ways, how to help me and my sister and brother, they would never wear glasses and they would never destroy their vision so much as they did when they wore glasses. So I belong to the organization, the very old one in Lithuania that teaches people healthy lifestyle. So I thought, why should not we spray this knowledge? Talk about it more with parents and children, because at that time in Lithuania, no one talked about the possibilities to help children get their vision back, perfect vision, in Lithuanian language, only in Russian. But at that time, Russian was already forbidden, or we didn't learn it at school, and many Many adults already do not speak Russian, so this is like also a barrier to get a knowledge. So I started to share my experience, and I had the first camp was so grateful, so great, and it.
So tell us, sorry to interrupt for just a moment. So you've been, but first of all, I love your story. Like I've been in a similar situation, got glasses at the age of 3, and I was so determined as a teenager. This is ridiculous. I don't want to continue this way, right? So we were the strong-willed person who kind of took care of our own health. And I so appreciate you doing this. But I love what you said about the Russian teacher who said that it's basically an addiction, just like alcohol and tobacco. And it's funny, Aldous Huxley talked in his book, The Art of Seeing, the addiction, that sunglasses are an addiction. So I think it's so powerful what you said. So and I love also what you said about, if our parents only knew how glasses would have really made it so much worse. Like your vision went from minus very, very mild myopia at 13 to like almost -7, very severe myopia, right? I mean, that's like just 5 years. And you were following the doctor's advice. And I think a lot of you here listening, you can 100%, like that's your own experience, right? It gets worse and worse. So then you got interested in children, working with children, because you wish your parents would have known that, right? They would have been able to, because as parents, you have children, right? I have children. We want to do the best for our kids, but we don't always know. We follow the guidance like everybody else. So thank you for bringing this to Lithuania. But tell us a little bit. So you said you belong to this health organization that does these boot camps or something that you right? You call them boot camps over there, where everybody comes together in person, and then you added the vision to that. So tell us a little bit about those camps and how you work with children.
So these camps are based on a healthy lifestyle principle. So every morning we do exercise. We go into cold water, even in winter, in November, in December, whenever we make or organize these camps. And then we have different outside activities, games, and so on. And we just added vision improvement practices to these camps. All of our camps, we do very different, just like for children, especially for teenagers, for senior people, for families, and so on. But one of the camps is dedicated for vision improvement. So all the elements of healthy lifestyle are there, plus vision improvement. So people come with different age of children, from newborns to, I don't know, teenagers, and other senior people come all together. We divide them into groups, 4 groups, smallest one, biggest one, teenagers, and then adults. And they have their own programs, and sometimes they meet for vision improvement practices. So the camp lasts 7 days, and this is, I think, the most powerful format for children, because individual consultations, individual work at home doesn't give such good results as the camp does, because there we separate them from parents. They have their own team. They have very nice volunteers and teachers. They go to night tours. They have discos. They have day tours, and they make food on fire, and they swim in the lake if it's summer, so the half of the day. So this is such a good relaxation for them. And I have so many examples when, let's say, it doesn't matter how long the child was squinting. It was 5, 7, 8 years. He wore glasses for squint, strabismus. Yes. So at the third or fourth day at the camp, he stops, or she, squinting, and forever. I mean, it's just so nice to observe this.
It's so powerful. So just to reframe everything or recap, like you basically say these 7 days, that's the parents, and obviously there's things that everybody does together, but also the kids, based on their age, get grouped into different things and do different activities. They spend a lot of time outside. They can totally relax. And that's amazing. I mean, and you said, and I had a similar experience when I worked one-on-one with parents and children. It wasn't as successful. And even with adults, I find that the group format, and I do it all online, but but the idea of the group and doing things together is so, so powerful. So And that we would love to hear a few more stories. But before we do that, like, so what do you think is the reason that a squint, right? And when eye turns in or out, or both eyes do that, after 4 days goes away. And what do you do with the children versus what you do with the parents? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
The children have more active activities. Yes, outside playing games that they are interested in. I always tell to the parents, if children do not want to go to vision improvement practices, they can not to go. They can not to put it. They can just do nothing. Let them alone. I mean, they have something. We have such nice volunteers that they take. Do something with them. Yes, and
Right.
parents have other activities, especially we talk a lot about relationship between parents and children, and emotional state and psychological state in the family. And actually, everyone would agree that the main cause of vision disorders is the stress and tension that the child gets from the closest environment. And this means family, and even not the school. Sometimes, yes, school. Sometimes, yes, kindergarten. But mostly my practice, 10 years, more already, 14 years practice, says that the stress and tension is highest in the closest surroundings, so it means family. So we work with parents and we're talking these issues and topics where we do something not, I should not say harmful, something that we don't know that affects the child, and we may not understand the sensitivity of the child. These days, children are very, very sensitive, some of them, and mostly sensitive children get vision disorders. Yes, so we from our behavior, I don't know, just because we were raised like that and we were trained like that, we do not feel even our bodies, so we cannot feel our children also and other people. So we are not so sensitive because we have our routine, we have the work, we have our responsibilities, and we run, rush, and we do not feel so much. So this is very important, just to respond to the sensitiveness of the child, and to look, observe things, what makes this child sensitive. And so we analyze this in sessions, discussions, and parents in the camp, they get very important tasks. This one is not to talk until you are not asked, even with
Okay,
your
so
child.
parents cannot talk until they
Yes.
get asked by their children or anybody.
Anybody. I mean,
Okay.
if they come with children, they should not talk with the children. Of course, they can talk, but also it is very healthy not to talk at all, and to see how do you feel. The more important part of this task is to observe how you feel yourself with this, because most people who are controlling, they cannot be quiet. They want to always say something and, just fix something, say something, and, that everything would be in order. Sit, stand, look, see, and so on. So when you just try to shut your mouth for 2 hours, you may notice that you are not interesting to anyone and no one is asking you anything. So this is the thing to work with. Why do you feel so? Because 2 hours not such a big time. Yes. And so different insights may come to you while you are silent. And one mom got this task and she was crying after the first week of silence. She said, the first time in 14 years, my teenagers ask me, how was my day? Because she was always asking them.
Mm.
And after 2 weeks, she said, I noticed that my sons and husband, they're laughing and there's so much initiative in the family that was not before there because I was organizing everything. And, so there was no space for the initiative for others. And we do not actually take into account the nature of the feminine and masculine nature. These are very different natures, and you have to have them in account while you are in a relationship, when you are in a relationship. And some models work better for feminine nature, and some models work better for masculine nature, and how mother has to behave with sons and how mother has to relate with her daughter is very different. So not to hurt this nature. So many things.
That is, I mean, I absolutely love this discussion, and hopefully everybody watching this is going to learn something, because I don't know about you, but when parents reached out to me, they always want to know what are the exercises my child should be doing. And it sounds like, first of all, the kids don't do any exercises. They have fun, they play. But really what I'm getting from what you've been sharing is it's the transformation of the parents, like really for the parents to step back. And right now I was a single mom. I can relate to this bum, 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 bum. You just try to get through the day, get it all done. You want the best for your kids, but like really pulling yourself back and also introspectively looking at yourself, your behavior, your own feelings. Because I think a lot of us can relate to that feeling of numbness. Like we are so busy, like you said, we were doing. We don't even know how we feel. So, and then so basically the parents do this transformation, and with the kids, it seems to like just fall into place, really, that it's doing nothing exactly for the children is like, this is so interesting. And I think every parent would be like, oh no, I thought it would just be a set of easy eye exercises.
No, I also meet this very often. So what exercises will we do just to improve our vision? So I never explain for people because it just doesn't worth to do this. I just say, come to the camp and then we will explain everything for
I
you.
love it.
So,
So what are you
know,
about screens? So two thick questions I have. What about when people come to your camps, parents, children, everybody, what about glasses? Because, especially when you're very nearsighted, people want to maybe I notice some people are really control freaks, and the idea of not seeing everything is kind of really scary. So how do you deal with glasses when people come to your camps?
that's very good question. And yeah, it is not easy for us, for the camp team, but it is forbidden to wear glasses to anyone in the camp. So we collect them. Sometimes people bring their children and they just think that we will take glasses only from their children.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and yeah, and they are very surprised when we are taking glasses from them. But of course, we inform them. And actually, no, we inform parents about this just the the day that the camp starts, not in advance.
Yeah,
The,
otherwise they'd be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
they take a couple of glasses and so on, So we collect them, and actually we meet very different cases with this collecting of glasses, because sometimes severe migraine starts for people and they really are irritative, very much they're not happy, they complain. And the first 3 days are the most difficult, because even everything changes in the life. It is like detox program for everything.
Yeah,
Food,
everything
Food has changed, routine has changed, more physical activity, more, cold water. It is very, very frightening for someone. So many things change and the body has to adapt to it. And so we know everything. We have a very qualitative personnel working with people, not doctors. We're just all moms and fathers who met 10, 20 years situations like that, and we know how to deal with this. So we work with people very sensitive, but the rules are the rules if they want to get results. And we work for results. We do not work just, let's do the camp,
Yeah, it's not like a retreat where you like do the the massage. It's not like the idea of a retreat.
No, it is not.
So you get all your fears, you might, like any kind of transformational program. I have that in my courses where sometimes things get worse and it's easy to throw in the towel. I'm like, oh, this isn't working for me. But what I love about your approach, because everybody's also in person, and if you bring your children, as a parent, it's not as like, oh, I'm just going to bail out because that's the easy way. But now you kind of committed so I love that. I think this sounds amazing. So what happens? Let's say somebody has migraines. Can you give us some stories? What happens like after the first few days? We all know if we've ever changed or given up caffeine or anything, the first 2 days or 3 days are really hard. You have those headaches, you have those detox symptoms, your vision might get worse, right? It might get blurry, all these things. So like, how do you manage that, and how, like, what happens? Maybe give us some exact examples, and then also about the children, but let's think about the parents a little bit first.
The best life hack for migraine is cold water on your neck, and on your face. So just 10 seconds and it goes away. If you need to repeat it, you can repeat it. So we give, cold towels, hot towels, we make massage, we come to we give a tea, something. It is not just migraine. It is like aggressiveness arises and a person starts to become very irritative and very not nice and so on. So we talk a lot. We spend 2-4 hours. We have volunteers working with that. So we take care of that. Even we have 100 people at the camp. So we check everything.
Oh, wow.
It's very important for us. Another thing is that, let's say, we had one boy, -10. He was 10 years, -10. And we took glasses, of course, from Brussels. So he was crying all the day and said, give my glasses back. I would do a surgery better than to walk without glasses. But we have such a nice personnel. So we talked with mom, we talked with the kid, and finally he found so many friends. He didn't want to go out of that camp. So he was so lucky and he improved his vision so much. He was so happy and jumping from the joy, so we know this, we know everything, like how it is. So we are very strong about that. And then also digestive system, but we do not give caffeine. Yes, coffee is forbidden, and only vegetarian food, no meat, no fish, no eggs, and everything. So, and you do not see, so it's a big stress. But we do a program like it is not rushing. It is, you can go where you want, not to the whole things. You can lay, you can be near the lake or just walk or breathe, do some breath practices just to calm down yourself and to slow down yourself. So this is type of the approach at the camp.
Wow, I absolutely love this. So it's very, because what works, right? You've done this over and over again. After the first 3 days are hard, your whole team is prepared for aggressiveness and sad and all the kaleidoscope of emotions on the parent side and also the children's side, right? For the children, it's a very different experience, but it sounds like you have it totally dialed in. And I'm assuming, no screens, none of that stuff will be there, right? It's just, okay. I think that's very powerful. Do you have a couple more stories? I would love to hear maybe some from the parents and some more from the children what you've experienced over the years running these. And I don't know, what are they called? Do they have a specific title? Vision
Actually,
boot
it's
camp?
simplicity is very important. So it just we have two words in Lithuania that mean put away your glasses or glasses off. You may say it is called like that. So of course, there are many stories, many success stories, especially they happen for children during these 7 weeks, 7 days, sorry. So children are very flexible. They do not, they are not so stubborn in their models of thinking and knowing everything. They are just very curious. And if they improve in short-sightedness, let's say, if they improve their vision by reading charges 2 or 1 row, it is not only the single improvement. I mean, the most powerful moment is when they put their glasses back for 2 seconds at the end of the camp, and suddenly they understand that the weaker glasses that they took with them into the camp just to get back with glasses, so they understand that these are too strong and they do not want to wear them. So this is the most precious moment in the camp. It is not that you read one more line or you see more clear. It's just the understanding that you have the glasses that you have are too strong for you, and now you can do weaker glasses. So this is, but every camp we have one story, success story, like child stops squinting the 3rd or the 4th day. It is so nice for everyone and for parents, of course, also. We had lately we had family doctor family that a girl of 1.5 year was with not developed optic nerve in one eye. So mother was crying, came to the first camp, and she was really very sad. And doctor said that you will not see with that eye. So it took 3 camps that this young lady, 4 years old, this year, she demonstrated such good results for the eye doctor that she could not understand what happened, because she could read 7 lines with that eye that could not see according them. So they even asked her to come another time for another check. Recheck, because the doctor could not believe she can see with that eye. So they came another time for after 1 week, and she read everything. So it took 3 years actually for the family to understand the process of the vision and many other things about themselves, and they stopped controlling so much their dog, just to give more space for being in this world. And it's very important for me to let the children blossom, not to cover them with our own fears, own understandings, own ideas and insight, but just let it blossom. Because when you cover with your insights of view of life, so you just make a frame and you do not let to expand the living entity that is so different from you, and you want to try to make it similar. So it is, I think, it is bad choice, because when your child,
sorry.
No.
That's so beautiful. I mean, it's just it makes me almost cry. I mean, I hope the eye doctor at that point will be sending everybody to your camps. So my last question would be more like follow-up, and obviously how somebody who doesn't speak Lithuanian can work with you if that's an option. But so you talked about, right, a week later or 2 weeks later. So you do these 7-day camps, and is there for people like a follow-up process, or do they just like what is happening now? They realize their weaker glasses are too strong. What is the next step for how do you work, or do you just kind of wait for them to come back, or what's the process after these
Now,
camps?
during this camp, we learn a lot of practices. So after the camp finishes, we given the instructions for the rest of the routine every day, what they should do, and they just choose some practices. Actually, there was also not just last year we had an 86 years farmer was so active and he needed to drive a car, but because of his glaucoma, he could not get a driver's license. So he learned some practices very useful. I showed him what to do with the periphery because his periphery
Yeah,
was very
right.
narrow. So after 6 years, he got the driver's license back and he sent me a picture, near the wheel so that he's driving again. So it
Right.
really works. So very, very nice story. Yeah.
It's never too late. So yeah, just quickly. So you give people instructions and then they follow up, and
Yeah.
either they come back or you get the letters and the messages about future continued improvement. I think it's so amazing what you do. And I think everybody watching here realizing that it's really about the emotional stuff, less pressure. Like, it's I don't even know what to say. I think your work is amazing. And putting everybody in that container also allows you, because you know it works, right? So there is no escaping in a way that, we all do this, right? We all do something. We want to make this big change in our life. And the second things get a little challenging, I see that with online programs that I'm doing, right? People are like, oh, I want a refund. It doesn't work for me. Or I have a migraine now and you're like, you're on the right track. This is just symptoms showing you the tension that you've been carrying around. This is the right, perfect time. But at the same time, we can't force anybody that's out in the world. At that point, everybody has to make their own decision. But you have that container. And I think from what you shared, having that container, everybody understands you working with those feelings with the children, and you have everybody have a safe space where they can be themselves and explore that. So that's beautiful. So how can people work with you that don't speak Lithuanian? I mean, obviously, everybody that is in Lithuania or hears this or speaks your language can obviously come. You have a website. We have all the links in the show notes. But for somebody who doesn't speak your language like I do, how can people, like English-speaking people or Russian, right? I think you work with Russian language too. How can they find you, or how can they work with you?
They can come to the camps. We have nice volunteers translating into English, Russian languages. So I do webinars for parents in Lithuanian language. I can do it in English or Russian, of course, also. And if you have any specific questions about, especially children, so we can work individually. And usually, not usually, for some parents, it is enough to have one session just to talk and understand. For some, you need more. So, but
Mm.
explaining the main things helps to get the direction. And then there are so many books, so many trainings. It is good when you train yourself, then you know how to help your child. But I mean, I give a webinar for parents and then they get a direction. Then if they want to get a closer relation with the child, so they do many things and can help them. So
Yeah.
individual sessions, camps, and online seminars works. Work.
Great. And I know you have an Instagram channel. I posted that in YouTube as well. So people can find you on Instagram, which is great. It's a great way to connect. Well, thank you so much. I know it's super late for you. You are attending another camp, and I know you have to get up super early. We don't want to keep you any longer. This has been so powerful. And I hope everybody listening realizing that it's not about giving your child a bunch of eye exercises, but really looking at this whole picture and like less pressure and more space for being Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for doing this work in the world, Sigita. It was a pleasure to have you. Any last words you would love to share with the YouTube audience?
Okay, you gave me the word. Okay, it is very sometimes very useful to ask yourself if you are really happy. So yeah, if you are really happy 100%, so you can teach other, including your children, some things, because these things leads you to the happiness. But if your answer is not sure, I'm not happy, something is missing in my life, so it's better to keep silence and just to observe, because then other, especially children, with their nature, can show you other ways just to be happy. So this is my like last words.
That was amazing. So be quiet sometimes, listening. Beautiful. Thank you so much. YouTube, we're going to say goodbye. Make sure you follow Sigita on Instagram. We have posted her website, her Facebook, so make sure to connect with her. And thank you so much for being here with us.